Greetings, sir and sirettes, and welcome back to Robocraft with me, Lathrix, and of course, welcome back to the Parasite version 2, which we're about to change into Parasite version 3, because of course now we are in the middle of the newest update, the End of Armageddon, or whatever it was actually called, the small update with massive implications is what I was meant to say there. Essentially, just like the Armageddon event, all items now have had a 50% increase in health, with a few minor exceptions like the flak weapon, which only received, I think it was over 20 or 25%. Because of this, honestly, my mech here, my lovely Parasite, is not doing anywhere near as well as it used to. It really isn't designed around the idea of doing enough damage to really deal with the new health totals, especially with these little rails here. Now, I'm not going to say the rail piercers don't have their place still, of course they certainly do. A faster fire rate, low energy, easy to place, they're not a bad weapon. The problem I'm noticing, however, is we don't have enough of them, and certainly not enough space on the Parasite to really make any use of them. The fire rate isn't phenomenal, and I'm just not doing enough damage. Our lovely main rail, however, is still doing very, very well, even with the health increase. Rails have had a 10% damage buff to compensate, I believe, which of course is still less damage than it used to be in terms of damage versus health, but it's still doing very, very well. These rails are just not good enough, and I am going to have to replace them. It's just, we can of course dedicate more space, perhaps using aero rods to them, but for now, they're gone. I just can't use them on this robot. They are not doing well enough to have that CPU. Now the front also needs to be a little bit redone. We currently have those lasers there, but I don't know how long we're going to be keeping them, so let's remove all that. The arms can go away for a second. Oh no, that arm can stay because it is indeed holding a flag. And then let's quickly grab the aero rods, which I actually think I have in my inventory. Yes, we do. Never mind then, we're absolutely fine for that. So how are we going to fix this? How are we going to make our walker back to its great self? Because as much as I do want to build a plane, and we will very, very soon, this is my farming robot. This is the robot I use off camera to get crates. It's a robot that's easy to use. It always does well. It always does okay to well, and it doesn't really take all that much effort. I think either purchasing a second rail eraser or possibly trying to upgrade the smaller rails for the, where are you rails? I'm actually blind, there we are. The rail penetrators or rail decimators. Possibly the decimator, since it's only a 4 increase in CPU and only a slight increase in cost. And that does 33,000, that does 45,000. Quite a big difference, but of course the fire rate is actually the exact same because it is with all of them. I knew that, I'm a simple person. Wait, is the nominal count the same as well? The nominal count for you, Mr. Rail Piercer. It would be good if the stats came up. There we go. 8, 9, 7, 6. Okay, so we need less. I really do think perhaps going full on Rail Eraser, having 3 of them, would probably be the best idea. This means we can put out a phenomenal amount of damage. If a faster reload with the Eraser would mean we are destroying things. So I think that's what we're going to go with. So there's all of my money gone. We're probably not going to have enough really to use that back section. So for now, that'll go away. And aero rods, as we used before. Very similar setup, in fact. Actually, do we still want these here? And I'll replace those flags somewhere else on the robot. Now this is probably going to clip everything. Yeah, that's going to have to be increased in height at least by 1. And then we could maybe shield this. Oh, that'd be fantastic if we could. Okay, so that clips into the actual gun itself. How about if I did this? Now this would clip into the shield in front. No, it wouldn't. Well, there we are. An extra shield has now been added. That's actually pretty awesome. And of course, we could shield it from the side if we really wanted to, especially since I think we're actually going to have probably a fair bit of spare CPU. Now the final one, we're going to use this rod here. We're going to move this over the top of the hover. Let's get a true block, there we are. Rod shape there, and then you can go here. And if I wanted to, I could shield that as well, because it is pretty darn vulnerable. And of course, we could go about armouring up the rods to make sure they don't suddenly get knocked off from the first attack. Now that's a fair bit more damage. Now we've got 3 of these things. We're going to be putting out a lot of hurt. And I'm still trying to decide as well if I'm going to be using the strafing on this robot. So far, I don't think I am, but I think the reason is, honestly, I think it's purely because I'm not used to it yet. I've tried it out in a couple of matches off camera, hence why I know that I really needed to change up our rails. And every time, I just felt like this is so much more awkward than the old system, but I really think that could be just a matter of I'm not used to it yet in the slightest. Okay, so there we are, the Parasite now has all of those sorted, so the next thing is, I do want my lasers back, but I am tempted to use a couple of the vaporizers instead of all the Hornets. Or even a couple of plasma, that wouldn't be terrible. The only thing we can't use, of course, is the Proto-Seeker, because we got this with illicit gains by accidentally getting the RP from the factory. I'm totally not mentioning that because I had a lot of people questioning it in the previous episode. Okay, maybe I am. I mean, we could try 2 vaporizers and see how they do. Of course, the big problem with that is they have no redundancy, and half of the reason why I really like using the Hornets is A, we can get loads of them in a very small space, and B, which is actually the same reason, that's just so much redundancy. It's so difficult to knock off all of those guns. It's quite difficult indeed. Now, we do have a second rod, but it's currently being used up by... In fact, no, we have 2 more rods. Okay, let's steal these. Yoink. Go back to Parasite. Grab the L-shaped rods. I think what I'll do... no. Here would be bad, because if this rod gets destroyed, the damage transfers to here, which transfers up, destroying this, and thus destroying our main weapon. That would be very bad. Same would be said for there. Yes, I know, we're putting a gun in a very curious place there. I accept the fact that's silly. Or at least silly looking. I'm sure I could have put that there last time. Oh no, I put it like there, and it was protected by the shield. Okay. And that's if we go with the Hornet, because that could probably fit there. If it doesn't, we can always just move these further to the side. Maybe we should just... Okay, for now, we will stick with the lasers. The vaporizers, rather. That can't go there, can it? No, they'll clip on the shield. Surprisingly, it clips on the leg, not on the shield. That's a shame, because that would look really nice like that. Very flush up against the shield, which would look awesome. I'm tempted just to move the legs one back. Also, do I have better legs yet? I'm still using the Centaur, I believe. Which just feels a bit odd since I've upgraded everything else, but I haven't been able to upgrade these. What I could do is... Could I sell that and then purchase one of... No, I really can't. That's a shame. I would like to purchase another one, but they're so darn expensive. I will, however, get rid of some of these. Just because I don't really care about that. Keep the Giant, because I'm not sure how we're going to do that just yet. And we'll put these back, so you can go back here for a second. Actually, no, that's one further back now, which means we should be able to put our vaporizers in. Okay. So we're now using 2 vaporizers, which kind of look like weird hands, and we are using 3 of the rail erasers. Okay. That should be a bit of a damage increase, although it has really hindered our redundancy, which kind of sucks, honestly. We could also shield this thing up a lot better than we currently have, and I think I will be focusing on that definitely in the future. Really? That can't go there? That'd look awesome like that. Okay, never mind. That might actually make it a bit more vulnerable, because now it's less of a... Well, it's just easier to hit the bit not hidden by the shield, but I think it might be worth it just for a bit of structural stability. Structural stability. Our hover is currently nice and sandwiched, at least. Okay, and now what we need to do is put our flags back. And yes, I do understand using the flags makes us a very obvious target. I just can't help it though. The Parasite is kind of like our ambassador at the moment, and eventually I will make a vehicle called the Ambassador in remembrance of our old version. Also, I have way too much glass. Ooh, at the moment we can sell glass and it's still counted as rare, isn't it? In terms of cost, eventually that's going to go down though, so I will be selling 20 of these. Take away one of those. There we are. And I'll be keeping the rest, because I do actually want the rest. I doubt we could sell it and then purchase it back at a gain, I really do. Anything else we want to do before we go in? We've got a fair bit of CPU left. We could put a radar on, it wouldn't hurt. But I don't think I will. Is there anything we could put on just to make it a bit more sturdy, just while we test? Because at the moment, honestly, I am obviously rushing, so I do want to just simply test out how well these things do. We could try and protect our shield, our flags. I mean, we could do... actually, we could do, because I was saying about it earlier, figure out a way to defend the one at the back a little bit. So they have to hit the gun rather than hitting just the block or the rod. I'm assuming, like earlier, that can't go there, but it can go here. I mean, it kind of works in a way. It's not the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. It's just somewhat close. I have no idea what I'm doing with this. Just to defend that shield. Honestly, that wouldn't be a terrible idea, but no. Okay, so from the front, it will be pretty difficult to hit a block. The only blocks really exposed are those two there, then the legs, then those two there. So, yeah, let's just stick to that. Parasite version 3, let's see how it goes. I will be making a better version of this. I won't be uploading this because this isn't finished. This is just a test to try out the new rail. It really needs to be made better than this. I like the old version. This isn't good enough yet. Let's get into a team deathmatch and see how the rails do. Well then, here we go. Let's see just how we do. Now, somehow, our base is being capped by that little fellow who just teleported there. That was different. Yeah, this is curious. Thankfully, the Plasma's AoE killed him. Okay, let's ignore that and continue to test out the rails. Oh, bit of an elongated jump there. Couldn't really get the aim. Shield hit. Now hopefully we'll be able to get far enough back before they hit us. Okay, 2 hits. The first one was almost completely absorbed by the shield. Sadly, the second one hit the same location and knocked it out. Sure, I can hit the little bot, but I can't hit the missile-toting robot. Sure. That makes sense. Oh, that would have been so glorious, but also not really my type of aiming, you know, to hit. Spot the missile guy again, hit him on his weapon. I am enjoying the faster cooldown around maximum damage. He needs to stick his head out a bit more, can't quite hit him where he is. So when I said I can hit the little guy, apparently I was wrong there as well. You need to stick your head out more, please, thank you. Suddenly wish I could fly to try and harass him a little bit. Pretty even match so far. Matches are lasting a lot longer since the health's been increased, and I am very much in approval of that. Of course it kind of sucks, because it means we're getting less experience and less loot, but it does make the matches more enjoyable. Oi! Got him in his missile, and I think that took it out. Okay, excellent. I thought he was behind there because of where his nameplate was, apparently not. Here he comes. Damn. May have saw me turning. We hit it. It seems like it takes, yeah, 2 shots to take out. We could get, honestly, we could potentially get up there. That's not impossible for a mech. Also, I can hear the capping sound, but no one's capping, which is intriguing. Sadly, he does have his rotor, so if he wants to get away, he can. Yep, there he goes. Should have really gone for the rotor. Like that. There we go. And he's going down. Yeah, I think I did far better in this battle than I was doing earlier. Earlier, I was doing terrible using the smaller rails, so a lot happier with that. I mean, I could work on my aim, but that's kind of what I could always work on. The Parasite version 3. And honestly, we survived damage pretty well as well, so I'm okay with that. Oh, we got a Rudder Eagle. I think I already have one of those, so that's good. So we now have a double rudder. So what would we do to make this robot better? Honestly, I am still of the mind that shields are not as good as block spam. Block spam is also a lot easier to implement. Leg spam is also really good, so honestly considering changing this from a 2-legged robot into a 4-legged robot would not be a terrible idea. It also means we could, well, I think though if I did that it would have to be a full redesign. Where this rail is, I'm not happy, but yeah, I mean, we took damage from the missiles pretty well. We took 2 missile hits. The first one was completely absorbed, the second one sadly hit the same place, like I say, and did knock out the shield, but that did minimise a lot of damage to us. Let's have another match and see how we do there. I am starting to love shields less again now because of the increase of health of the chassis cubes. It's I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I'm in a place again where I'm thinking and trying to figure out what I really want to do, and I'm really happy with that. That's where I want to be in Robocraft, constantly imagining how I want a robot and then, well, building something new. Before we go into the next battle, though, I'm going to test this out with Strafe. I was testing out Strafe earlier using plasma and lasers, so let's see how well it does with rails. Let the strafing, and thus me walking into every single wall, begin. I'm sure this can only go well. And he really likes his shotguns. That looks oddly almost cute, but not. But almost. But not. Okay, so, pros of strafing. Of course, we can strafe and fire, because, well, we can always move and fire, and the rail becomes no less accurate. It also means hiding behind things can be a little bit easier, and the most important thing, if we're tracking something, we're always going to be facing the target, so there's almost no chance our rails are going to clip into our own robot, which is pretty darn awesome. Now, the cons is that I'm not used to it yet, so expect me to be really stupid, and also I found that in-air controls are a little bit more difficult to handle. Don't want to hit his shields on the front there. Oh, hit the bottom. Okay, well that's a problem. Having our rails on such different levels, it's going to be a bit difficult to figure out when to shoot. Hey, that's my tank! That's Tanky McTankface. I don't want to kill Tanky McTankface. I mean, if I do get killed by Tanky McTankface, I can say it was the design, not the player, that made it so good. I can't hit anything. Well, there goes his back rotor, there goes... Sorry, front rotor, there goes his back rotor. Trying to go for his gun there and be clever, but sadly failed. Well, we hit his shield. Maybe we should have used our lasers there, you know? The short-range weapon you put on your bot for such a situation, Lathrix. Maybe you should have used that. That would have probably worked better. Hello. Spot him for the team, there we are. And can we... Yes, we can. Goodbye. Oh, Lord. Okay, this is bad times for me. Still want to use our rails on cooldown, though, just because how much damage they do. Just make sure to swap back to the lasers when we're done. Now, we are still tanking hits pretty darn well, but I don't know if we're going to win this. Yes, we are. Okay, laser tank in short range, rail mech wins. Oh, poop. Nope, 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 nope. Damn you! Oh, I wish I was a little bit further forward then. Come on, come on. No! Well, at least I was killed by a tanky McTankface. That's a really nice looking tank though, fighting it. My money's on that guy. Look at that. That's a lot of CPU. That is a lot of CPU. Just pure block spam with a lot of rods on the inside. Sadly, we don't have enough rods to make that thing, but it certainly does help. I feel like I did better there. And we get a bronze crate because we were destroyed. I mean, something to sell, I guess. Remembering now how little experience we do get from team death matches, which is absolutely horrendous, it must be said. So, yeah, having them on different planes like this and not being like a walker so we can actually angle our robot is a little bit difficult. I mean, back when you could use... No, you can still use, can't you? Use the soldier legs, the insect legs, to kind of angle your robot forwards like an ape. I believe those actually called ape mechs, if I'm correct. That type of thing does offset that a little bit, and that's maybe what we might have to do. Saying that, I also still really want a proper walker, the insect leg walkers, so I will be looking into getting those soon once we have the cash. I am happy with these rails though. Let's play one more match, test out the strafing a little bit more, then off camera I'm going to improve Parasite version 3 into a fully fledged version, then next episode we'll build a plane. Wow, I'm planning things. I'm organised. Well, here we go then for the final battle. So next episode, build a plane and do battle arena, thus doing all the things I'm currently neglecting. I feel like that's a fantastic idea, don't you? Parasite float down slowly. Yeah, turning this thing's a bit more difficult. You have to actually use the cursor to make sure it's turning correctly when hovering down. Wait, have we been on this map every single time? Maybe I'm going mad. He has a shotgun. Maybe I should have focused on the lasers, you know, things that can actually hurt me at this range, but I see a shotgun, I just have to hit it. Oh, last shot didn't quite land, that's a shame. I know he's there somewhere, let's move a little bit forward, I would like to try and hit him. we got his missile launcher there, and we missed, and we missed again. Okay, not doing too well. Well, that's for me, and wow, talk about timing, it just ran out of range. Oh. Wait, you managed to survive that? Well, I guess no one finished you off. Apparently I can never land final shots. And down he goes. Which looked pretty awesome because he was using vapor trails. Hello. There goes half his robot and his main gun. There goes the other half. And nope, can't make the final shot like I said before. One rotor blade says bye-bye. Swap over to the lasers, try and get the other one to snipe it off. There it goes. Oh, my lasers! I love my lasers. Spotted him there, so that's good. Oh, I thought there was an enemy behind us, probably not. Hello. Well, we hit his shield. That's good enough, I feel. Okay, yeah, I think I am sufficiently happy using these rails rather than using these higher amount of smaller ones. Oh, finally, was that a last hit? Oh, we actually made a final hit today. Glorious. Okay. Okay. Second place, we'll get a diamond crate. Don't feel like I was playing my best today. I'm a little bit tired, honestly. I'm still trying to sort out stuff with my fiance's surgery and going back to England. It's a bit hectic at the moment, and that's going to be my excuse for at least the next week. There we go. Okay, well, what have we learned today? I'm still not convinced about strafing for me, but I will keep on using it for at least a couple more playthroughs. A couple more episodes, just so I can learn it and see if it's for me with a more educated kind of perspective. At the moment, we're using a very novice experience as our only experience of it, and that's not really a good way to do things. Next time, we are going to go for Robo 11 here, and we're going to convert it to a flyer. And let's have a quick look-see and make sure we've got the stuff. We have 2 Rudder Eagles, we have 4 Winghawks. Yeah, we have plenty of stuff to make a flyer. In fact, if we wanted to, we could make a VTOL. I probably won't, but we could. I'm going to try and use plasma disruptors. I'm still not a big fan of the pulsars, but the disruptors I found to be fantastic. And as a secondary weapon, I don't think I'm actually going to go for a secondary weapon. I think I'd rather focus on plasma so we can unleash a devastating alpha strike, especially since now, of course, plasma have had its energy usage nerfed, which means we can simply shoot more, which is always very, very good. So the faster fire rate, definitely good at the moment. So, with that, thank you so much for watching. If you have enjoyed today's episode and not even getting 1 level, then of course, likes, favourite, shares, comments, all that good stuff helps out me, helps out the channel, and most importantly, shows that Robocraft is a series you wish to see continued in the future. Thank you so much for watching, and goodbye.